She was so photogenic. That was her face basically 24/7.
Lily Peden's 2-year-old daughter, Nanette, or Nanny, loved making people laugh.
That was the last one that I took of her. That was the last day that I saw her.
In September 2023, Lily dropped Nanny off at her father's home, thinking she was safe. 5 days later, the toddler died of a fentanyl overdose. Digested fentanyl pills were found in her stomach.
She was 2 years old, a child that was known for putting things in her mouth all the time, everywhere she went.
Nanny is part of a deadly trend impacting infants and toddlers. The King 5 investigators have uncovered multiple cases like this one from Kent, where babies have easy access to fentanyl, where they put the pipes and foil used to smoke the drug in their mouth. The deadly pills can easily be mistaken for candy.
She didn't know any better. It's not, you can't just expect her not to get into it just because it's not hers.
Nanny's father, Evan Hodge, was charged with manslaughter in her death, but child endangerment wasn't part of the case against him. Now Lily is pushing for change. Currently, the state's child endangerment with a controlled substance law says it's a felony when a child is exposed to meth while it's being manufactured. It does not include exposure to fentanyl, the epidemic gripping the country right now.
The death of a child should be a charge of its own.
Data from the Washington Poison Center shows opioids, including fentanyl, poses a greater danger to children than any other drug. Last year, they found children under 5 were poisoned by opioids 4 times more often than meth, and 20% of the opioid exposures were life-threatening. For all other drug exposures, that number is less than 0.5%.
I don't understand how that's not some form of child endangerment or child abuse already.
Prosecutors say because there isn't accountability for fentanyl exposure, children are left in the same dangerous situations.
Hey, kiddo.
Time and time again.
Hey, buddy.
Police body cam video from 2022 captures first responders waking up this toddler in a Lowe's parking lot in Kent. The parents were found slumped over in their car,
Hi, sir.
telling police they were smoking blues, which is slang for counterfeit opioids containing fentanyl.
Buddy.
Police were concerned the child kept falling asleep.
You're so tired. That freaks me out, little guy.
So this officer took the toddler to the hospital to get checked out.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't deserve to have that child.
Officers were visibly upset.
But you're inside of a car again. Well, he's in the side of a car again, smoking whatever it is that what are you smoking? Blues?
It was the second time in 2 months they'd responded to this car.
And CPS gave him back.
Gave him back?
Yeah.
Drug paraphernalia was found in the car and CPS was called. A little over a year later, it happened a third time. Officers reported seeing an empty baby bottle near the burned oil and blue pill. Police records say the child was okay and CPS was called yet again.
I do think that changing this to a felony would save lives.
Corrine Schneff is with the Pierce County Prosecuting Attorney's Office.
On a vote of 7 ayes and 0 nays, the ordinance is adopted.
Last year, the Pierce County Council led the state by adding accountability when an adult exposes a child to fentanyl. The county went from nothing on the books to making it a gross misdemeanor, the most serious charge a county can levy.
The county council recognized, given the severity of the harm that is caused by this, that it should be a felony. But for now, we at least have a gross misdemeanor charge here in Pierce County that we can use.
Endangerment with a controlled substance is a Class B felony.
In Olympia, bills to close this fentanyl gap haven't made it out of the House, specifically the Community Safety Committee.
And by criminalizing parents, we are separating parents from their children forever, and we don't want to see that.
Representative Roger Goodman is the committee chair. He says the state doesn't want to charge parents, which would separate them from their kids, and that historically, criminalizing drugs disproportionately affects people of color.
Many grieving parents, grandparents tell me it feels like the state is protecting the adult and the child who died is not getting justice, that their life does not matter. What do you say to that?
There have been so many tragic incidences with families and children exposed to these substances. If you're committing a crime, you need to know you're committing the crime. And so many of these people who are suffering from a severe substance use disorder have no idea what's going on. And the question that many of my colleagues have is, do we want to attach criminal liability to someone who is suffering from a substance use disorder, even if someone else may be harmed?
There isn't a moment in the day I'm not thinking about her or wishing I could change what happened. Just like there isn't a night I don't relive waking up and finding her over and over.
At his January sentencing, for the death of Nanny, Evan Hodge received 8.5 years in prison.
How we treat our children says a lot about who we are as a people. Part of this is making sure that this doesn't happen again.
That's exactly what Nanny's mom, Lily, hopes will happen. That no child dies of a fentanyl overdose again.
He made these choices over and over to continue to use. He had multiple people helping him that it's just inexcusable.
There are 3 bills that address adding fentanyl to this child endangerment law, but none of them have made it out of the House Safety Committee. At this point, it looks like none of them cleared the first hurdle this session, and the law will likely stay the same.
So why is this age group so terribly impacted?
A lot of it is developmental. As we know, babies, toddlers, they explore the world by putting things in their mouth. The other thing is the nature of the drugs. Other drugs, if they were to get a hold of just a minor amount, it likely would not have these consequences. But fentanyl, just a tiny bit, or there's cases I've read with babies with the straw or foil in their mouths, they overdose and die. So the consequences are just so much higher.
Thank you.